My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Hey folks, there's just something soothing about the sounds of the waves hitting the shore. I like it. In today's day and age, things can get a little crazy. You know what I mean? By the way, today is January 3rd, 2023. It is my birthday. I am 59 years old. And I had to get out and try to enjoy the day. It's been raining most of the morning. And I drove over here to the lake. We're here in North Georgia, and it has been bitterly cold in the last week, with temperatures at 3 degrees and wind chills down to minus 25. And that is not common. It made me feel like I was back home in Alaska. Except that down here, there's always this overpowering humidity. And even in the wintertime, that humidity just, it makes everything so much more intense. So when you're talking about really, really cold temperatures, it just goes right through you. I've literally been colder at times down here in the south than I ever was up in Alaska. And I had been out, snow machining. Some of you call it a snowmobile or a snow go or whatever. People got all kind of names for them. Anyway, I was riding on the Susitna River Valley north of Anchorage out to a friend's cabin out on this little lake called Healy. And we would drop down and ride on the ice at times, just because the forest was so thick. But there were pockets of air that were, minus 50. And so pretty dang cold. And the funny thing is, I have felt colder here than I ever felt up there, which is, it seems like an oxymoron, or maybe I'm just a moron. But I know other people that have said the same thing. Anyway, I was thinking of a quote by Carl Jung, and because it's all about perception, right? Who we are, who we think we are, all that. And so, according to Jung, he who looks out dreams. He who looks within awakens. Now, Jung wasn't talking about being woke, because talk about an oxymoron for the most part. I look at some of these people who call themselves woke, and with a firm knowledge and understanding that is completely obvious that they are utter morons, completely lacking in the ability to accomplish critical thinking. And critical thinking is absolutely necessary to awaken. Because if you are looking inside yourself and having these epiphanies as you awaken, do you think your goal in your existence is going to be where you're seeking to control other people? Does that make any sense to you at all? No. If you are having an awakening, as Jung talked about, you're looking within. The only person that you could possibly seek to control is yourself. It's just mind-boggling to me, and a no-brainer, right? That people would have such ideas. Obviously. It's almost to the point where you shouldn't even have to say that. You shouldn't even have to explain it. But I've seen it so often. I've seen it as so many of the sheeple follow a particular party line, no matter what that party is. I mean, I don't trust any of them. I think a prerequisite to becoming a politician oftentimes means that you are going to have narcissistic tendencies. And with that being understood, well, you wouldn't want to give that person too much power. especially for any length of time. And maybe they have some good ideas. All right? You give them that shot. Here's your shot. And let them make of that shot what they will. And then if they're actually doing good things, well, maybe you give them a little more. But you do not put them into place in over decades. I mean, we've seen the result of that. We've seen the results of Mitch McConnell having control over the Senate, having been there for, geez, what is it, 40 years? My God. Or his counterpart, Nancy Pelosi. Whew. Both of them just conniving. Bothers me to even call them people. Doing what is in their best interests rather than what is in the best interest of the people that they're supposed to represent. And it's difficult, right? Because once they get in positions of power, hard to remove them. And they've made it so, as they want to hold onto the power as long as they can and suck every last drop so that there's nothing left for anybody else. As you could probably tell, I'm a big believer in term limits. But those people in power, I don't know if they'll ever let that happen. Maybe if they were grandfathered in, which meant that they had even more power because the new people coming in could not amass enough power to oppose them in their lifetimes. But chances are they're not going to let it happen. That's why my first novel was all about a guy who accidentally creates the ability to time travel, and he goes back and makes changes to the Constitution and puts term limits into place. That's just one of the things that, of course, he does. And, of course, I approached these ideas from a very libertarian perspective, which I consider myself to be. Not that I'm going to, get all political on yous here, but we got to do something, because these oligarchs that have put themselves in power are seriously doing damage. And here we are, letting it take place. And I say letting it take place because we've had the chance, although not a big one, but we've had a chance to get rid of these people by voting them out of office. But there we go. Somehow some way they hold on to power. Anyway. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? It was just raining a second ago. And every time that the rain comes down and hits the lake surface, the fog gets a little bit enhanced, which is interesting in and of itself. Anyway, I suppose I'll chat with you later. Bye.